Hello there, my name is Am and I would like to welcome you to my channel and welcome you to this video. I am going to dive right into, one of my random episode for the day. And I want to talk about Twitter actually, because for me, I've not been very familiar with Twitter. I know, of course, I know of it, like many of us do, but I kind of stayed away. It seemed like a bit much. It seemed like a completely different world. But recently, I decided to get a little bit more involved, kind of check and see what it's about. Because just from a human curiosity standpoint, I want to know what's going on here. So I dared to dive into this Twitter world. And I'm not, it's both interesting and scary. No, those are the two main words I would use for this. And just from my perspective, I think it's really interesting just in making observations of like the main types of things that I encounter. I use it right now I'm using it for a very specific subject at this point. So maybe things are different across other subjects, but for some of the stuff I use it for like mainly really just to, I won't go into it, but for, just from my general observations, it's just interesting to see, first of all, a lot of people, first of all, I think a lot of people say things that they probably would never say in person. Like never. If I've learned anything from being an adult, it's that adults tend to be very hesitant to keep it real in person. And I think we can all be very strong behind some type of wall. But yeah, so it's just interesting to see people be so different than what I might find in real life, as far as like the bluntness, I guess. Another thing is the concept that people are willing to, or they'll just. A lot of times some people just want to say what they want to say or present what they want to present, and I don't think there's much concern for the feedback sometimes, as much as it is, hey, I just want to kind of get this off my chest, which it's all good. Like some people want to get things off their chest, but then you also have that other side where it's like, hey, I don't want to hear anybody that doesn't think like me at all. And it was really, for me, that one was like the most interesting. I don't get me wrong, there's like tons of like positive like sides of it. I'm sure. I'm sure there's like a lot more positive things to it. I think Twitter is freaking hilarious. Especially, oh my gosh, once the memes break out, it's just its own other world. But I think it's interesting, the idea that that can be perpetuated there, which is that it's, you say something and then are just waiting for agreement versus, or sometimes some people wait for argument too, but at the same time it's not for actual exchange. Is something being said for actual exchange and better understanding between each other, or is it just being said to start a fight or just to get a bunch of people to agree with you? Because for me, either way, I don't see that as very I feel like that we're missing like some of the potential beauty of human interaction, which is, I don't think the point of a conversation ever needs to be that, hey, you need to think exactly like me by the time I'm done talking. I don't think for me that's not really a goal, even, no matter who I'm talking with. And I'm a very opinionated person. Like whatever it is, I got strong opinions on it, and I like to have a different perspective and think a little different. And so it was very interesting to hear people, or to see people not really being open to that like type of interaction, but also learning how to converse. I think is something that needs. I think just as people, that's something we could really use. That platform could really be used to improve how we are able to disagree with somebody, and I don't see it used as much in that way, as much. Now, granted, I'm still new, so maybe it's the particular topic that I have been leaning towards. Maybe it's very different in other areas. But for me, it's just been very interesting to observe that. So I want to bring it back to like a lesson that I have learned from this. And it's very much like, for me, using it is really about learning how to, like I said, respectfully disagree, or try to better understand, just to better understand another perspective that's very different from my own. And even if at the end of the day, everybody walks away with the exact same, like I still stand where I stand. At least we try to understand each other. And I think some of our biggest problems in the world is that we don't seek to really understand. We like to make a lot of assumptions. We want to keep putting people into a category or in a group. And we don't give people a chance to be more than our limited perspective. And so for me, that's kind of just a check for myself. Like, I don't want to let my limited perspective, just from my life experiences, to put someone else's thoughts or ideas in a box. And just leave that opportunity open for some type of positive engagement, even if it's not like, hey, I agree with you perfectly. It doesn't mean it can't be something positive. So anyway, that's just a thought that I had. I think Twitter is such a great place to exercise diplomacy and all that good stuff. And then sometimes I think I think I need to just stay away for a very long time. Like it can be up and down, and that's after only being involved in Twitter for like maybe I'd say several weeks. But maybe it's different for like Twitter veterans or something like that. But for me, it can be all over. But it's definitely it's just fascinating. But that's just my more introverted perspective of it. Do you use Twitter at all, or is that kind of a world you stay away from? Please just leave me any questions, comments, feedback, all that good stuff down below. I'm just here spitting out some random thoughts that I've had, and I wanted to share that on this platform. So I thank you so much for listening. Please be safe out there. I know things are crazy. Please be safe out there. And I will be back again soon with another episode. But in the meantime, bye for now.